num num ta num ta num ta nu ta num. And my guru Padma Bhushan Lalgudi Jayaraman sir used to mention that when a musician sings an effective alapana, it should be such that within the first 30 seconds, any listener with reasonable exposure to Carnatic music is able to identify the alapana. Yes, you can change the raga, you can do all kinds of things, but typically you don't change the eduppu of a pallavi. That is why it becomes very, very important. Namaste and welcome everybody. This is going to be an interactive session. So the topic that we have taken today is Ragam, Tanam, Pallavi. RTP represents the most innovative or comprehensive aspect of Manodharma. Given that there are three components, today we are going to be focusing on the Pallavi component. However, I will start with a brief introduction to the Ragam and Tanam singing as well. So a Pallavi line is basically a one-line composition. It can be your own creation. It can be a line from any kriti that you know, and it need not be from the Pallavi of the kriti. It can be even from the second line or third line of the charana. So the word Pallavi is a compounding of three syllables: pada, laya, vinyasam. So pada means text, laya means rhythm, vinyasam means variation or exploration.
Yeah, what is the structure of the alapana? You said you have to hit all the notes, go up and then come down.
The way people generally develop an alapana would be to start at some note which is very critical to bringing out the bhava or the flavor of that particular raga, and then they generally come down, explore the lower sa to pa, then sing some akaram around the panchamam if the ragam has a pa. There could be a ragam like Abogi where there is no pa, so you would do an exploration around the madhyamam in such ragas, and then you wind your way up to the male shadjam, and after that sing a lot of akaram around the male shadjam, explore the upper octave or higher octave, and then sing some typical phrases of that raga. For example, when I did this brief alapana of Keeravani, I sang good alapana should throw in not only your creativity but also those key phrases. So now let me move to the next segment, which is the Tanam. Again, Tanam is similar to alapana. It is a little tighter knit when it comes to the rhythmic side. And the origin of Tanam is the word Anantam, which means eternal. And we typically use these syllables like A, Num, Ta, Nam to explore the Tanam aspect. And it acts as a bridge between the alapana, which is a complete melodic improvisation, and the Pallavi, which is very tight on thala. You guys may have noted, those who are following us on Instagram and WhatsApp channel, that we have started quizzes just to make it a fun learning activity for all of us. So I'm going to have a quiz question. So all of you heard a Tanam, right? And as I mentioned, it is sung between alapana and Pallavi. In a particular instrument's concerts, you hear Tanam often being performed before a kriti. Which instrument is this?
Veena?
Yes, a very simple Pallavi that was taught by my guru Lalgudi Sri Jayaraman sir. In fact, if I remember right, it was the very first Pallavi that he taught me, and I think that makes it very special to me. And it's also a great Pallavi, as he explained it. It's a very well laid out structure. It's a traditional Pallavi. So this Pallavi is set to Raga Keeravani. I am going to sing it in Rendu Kalai, which means double beat, and it is set to Sama Eduppu in Khanda Jati Triputa Thala. So Khanda Jati Triputa Thala is a 9-beat cycle where you have a Khanda Lagu and you have 2 dritams. And when you look at a Pallavi line, you can divide it into 2 segments. The first segment is known as the Purvangam and the second segment is known as the Uttarangam. The separator between the Purvangam and Uttarangam, that is known as the Aridhi. Aridhi is typically the transition point from the Lagu to the Dhritam. There is something known as a Vishranti. Vishranti is essentially like a peaceful respite. between the Purvangam and Uttarangam when it comes to the music, where you actually pause for at least 4 or 5 aksharas or subcomponents. So, Sev, Dil, Sa, Ni. So, that first Sa is equivalent to 4 notes. The Ni is equivalent to 4 notes. Sa, Ni, Da, Pa, Ma, Ga, Ri, Sa, Ni, Sa, Ri, Ga, Ma.
செந்தில் நகர் மேவு கந்த வடி வேலனே ஷண்முகனே குஹனே.
Excellent. So once the structure is nailed down, the next stage would be the Neraval. My Guru Lalgudi Jayaraman sir used to say that Neraval is actually very, very essential for Ragam, Tanam, Pallavi. So I'm just going to demonstrate a couple of rounds of Neraval to show you what I mean. Shanmukane Guvane Syodil Nagar Mevu Kalda Vadi Velane Shanmukane Guvane Syodil Nagar Mevu Kalda Vadi Velane. So very important that the Arudhi, the Eduppu and the duration or the Vishranti does not get changed. Everything else can get changed a little bit during the Neraval. So basically you sing the original structure, you do a Neraval, and then you typically move on to the Trikalam. Slow speed, middle speed, fast speed. Mevu Kanda Vadi Velane Shanmukane Guhane Seudil Nagar Mevu Kanda Vadi Velane Shanmukane Guhane Sendil Nagar Mevu Kanda Vadi Velane Shanmukane Guhane Sendil Nagar Mevu Kanda Vadi Velane Shanmukane Guhane. One of the challenges is when you do these multiple speeds, right? Your Tala tempo has to be maintained. You can also try using an app, like for example there is one called Jalra. In between the normal speed and the fast speed, you can add Tisram. So you usually have the main structure, Neraval, Trikalam, then you get into Kalpanaswaram. So what I will do is I will sing a couple of Kalpanaswarams in Keeravani. Padani sa ma padani Sendil Nagar Mevu Kanda Vadi Velane Sari Dari Dari Dava Ma Padani Sendil Nagar Mevu Kanda Vadi Velane.
What should we do to prepare ourselves for singing RTP?
What I would say is try to first start practicing the subcomponents of the RTP. Okay, so for kids I would say start off with Kalpanaswarams, for Varnams, for Kritis under your Guru's guidance. Then start doing small sketches of Alapana. Again start with ragas which you are familiar with, where you have learnt at least a couple of compositions. Started putting out Raga Alapana templates on our YouTube channel. So you can walk through some templates and get an idea about Alapana. Then I would say try Neraval, because Neraval is typically the hardest. So everybody can have different strengths. You don't need to learn in the same order. That's why customizing the classes becomes very important. And at VSA we do these one-on-one classes for this very reason. So do listen, purchase the recordings if you wish to, but we have a lot of free content out there. Just explore our YouTube channel. There is a wealth, and we keep adding as we go along, and we even have free lessons for many compositions as well. So Pancharatna Kritis, Abhirami, Antadi and so on. So please make use of that and share our social media handles with your friends and family members, because that would be very helpful in spreading the word and help us reach out more listeners and more students as well. So with that, we will end the workshop. Thank you very much.